Good morning, YouTube. So it's Thursday. I think the date is May the 6th, maybe. I don't know. I usually am a day ahead. I think it's the 6th. I'm assuming it is. I hope so. Anyway, woke up here at Tuska, Oklahoma. About to start the truck up and kind of get moving again. So I'll pan the camera around. It is overcast. Don't think the temperature never got anywhere. I don't know. It might have got near freezing, but it didn't freeze. Rain. There's no rain. It's just overcast. So I'll pan the camera around and you can take a look at this place. So, looking out the driver's side window across the street, you can see a thing called Tuska Superette. And Tuska's pretty small. Atoka, I don't know how big Tuska is, probably not very big. Atoka is bigger. Not even sure how big it is. These towns are not huge in this part of Oklahoma. And so you can see that I stopped at Tuska truck stop. And so they got a limited amount of parking, and they were closed when I got here. It was about midnight when I got here, and this place is not 24/7. So, and then you can see the truck that's currently parked beside me. So it's about noon, and I've stopped at the Flying J truck stop. I don't know, it's at Interstate 40 and US 69, Highway US 69 in Oklahoma. And so I'm getting ready to go inside and get something to eat. You can see that there's still bits of snow or sleet or whatever that has not melted. It's not on a roadway, but it is kind of out in the grassy areas here. So it's now late in the evening. I've made it to Eagleville, Missouri, and there's I don't know, it must be a relatively new Love's truck stop here. It's not even showing up in any of the satellite images, and it's not showing up in the database. This one database that I have is called All Stays Trucks and Travel, and it's not even showing up in there, and usually that's pretty up to date, so this must be pretty recent that this is open. So in any case, I'm here, and 91 miles from Des Moines. I could have gone up farther, but the load doesn't deliver until 1 p.m. and I think it actually goes to a medical center. From everything that I can tell on by the Qualcomm, it goes to a medical center. So there probably no overnight parking, and so I'll just show up at around 1 o'clock or a little bit before, and then they can unload it and kind of go from there. And then of course after that, the rest of the load goes to Omaha, and I'll be dropping it at one of the company yards, the company facilities there in Omaha. I'll be dropping the load and picking up an empty trailer, and then I guess someone will be delivering it I think it delivers on the 10th actually, that's kind of stretched out. So anyway, so it didn't freeze. Haven't been, it's not a bad day today. I think the highest temperature I saw was in maybe around 53, 54 degrees. Now here tonight, I think it's probably around 36 or so, at least it was earlier. And the sky is clear, so plenty of stars and what have you. So it'll probably cool off. I would think it would probably cool off to below freezing, but Haven't looked at the radar, but it doesn't look like anything's going to happen. But you never know. But so I don't think anything's supposed to happen for probably the next few days. So in any case, I decided I would go ahead and stop here as opposed to trying, because I could see that this had some number of parking spots in it, and it's just as easy to stop here and get up in the morning and drive the rest of the way up there. And as I say, I'll time it so that I arrive about the appointment time or a little bit before. So let's see, was there anything else going on? I guess not. It's just been pretty uneventful, just driving today, and didn't really get into any kind of traffic problems or so kind of unlike, and I really wasn't in any traffic problems per se the past few days, other than the weather and then the problems with the load that I had, but that all kind of got resolved, and so those kind of things happen from time to time, and it really doesn't do you any good. I see drivers all the time, and just people in general, they get all upset with whatever it is, and it's almost like, if you listen to people, it's almost like the circumstance or the whatever it is, it's as if life is conspiring against them. Well, it's not. It's not conspiring. They're conspiring against themselves when they get upset. They're conspiring against themselves when they resent the people, places, and things. That's, because it cannot do you any good to resent. It cannot. It's not that, people think, they harbor resentment, bitterness, anger, whatever. They'll harbor it. Sometimes they lie to themselves, and they've even hidden it from themselves that they're upset, or they'll keep it around. They'll keep it around as if it's some sort of a little pet thing that they can dip into and get a little judgment value out of from now and then. But it's really detrimental. You harbor resentment. And it's usually people hate they hate their parents. Typically, people will hate their father. This father kind of failed the family. Father, the father figure, whoever the father is in a typical family, really should sort of lead the family and correct things when they're wrong, and kind of sort of lead the family, in the right way. And typically what ends up happening, it ends up backwards. And of course that brings all kinds of hell into the world. It ruins the family. It ruins the family unit. People typically hate their parents, but they hate their father in particular. And that is tantamount to hating God. And it's a huge mistake to resent your parents. And of course people do, because the parents always fail us. There's this idea we're born in sin, and it means that we are imperfect, and we're born in sin, but we're also born with a proclivity to want to play God in our own minds. And so we do that through resenting and then being proud of what resentment kind of turns us into. What sort of comes, because resentment causes you to become enemies with your conscience, enemies with your Creator. Then you see it as a guilty conscience, and then you end up sort of becoming externalized, and then you defend what the external pressures make you do, as if it's you're acting out of your own choice, and you're clearly not. It's obvious to other people that you're kind of under a compulsion, but you can't kind of face it yourself. So it doesn't do you, it's really, really detrimental, fatally detrimental to resent, to get upset at people, places, and things. And you go from bad to worse. People usually jump from the frying pan into the fire. And part of that, that's why we're here. I really believe that's why we're here as human beings, to be able to have that experience, be able to find out that the lie really does lie, that the path we're on really is wrong. And some people can, find themselves in the gutter, either literally or figuratively. They can find themselves in the gutter, and then all of a sudden they can start thinking rationally because there's nowhere else to go. They've tried everything, and everything failed, and then they start thinking rational thoughts. But then there are other people that are in the gutter, and they'll just die in the gutter, and good riddance. So, but and not everyone, there's this idea that everybody can be saved. Well, it would be nice if everybody was saved, whatever that is, whatever salvation is, it would be nice if that were the case. But we as human beings have this mysterious thing called choice. We don't have to be what, like a dog has to be what it is. It has its instincts. A cat, any animal you name, plant or animal, or bacteria, virus, whatever, they are what they are. They have their instincts, and they can't be anything other than what they are. Human beings have a choice. We've been given, we're kind of at the top of the heap. We've been given a choice as to, the identity that we get from our Creator. How do we relate to the world, and so on and so forth. And of course, we want to play God in our own minds, and we end up doing everything backwards. And you see the world around us as a result. You see, you look in your own life, and you can see the result. So, mention it once in a while. If you go to my website, truckertompodcast.com, up at the top there's a link that says meditation. Click on that link. I think I have 3 or 4 files that are hosted there, MP3 files. You can download them, right click, save as, download them to your computer or your mobile device, put them on your iPod or whatever your MP3 playback device is, burn them to CD if you want to. It's a very simple technique, teaches you how to meditate. And meditation is actually very simple, because all that technique does is that you practice sort of staying out of your thoughts. We as human beings have this, it's like a point of awareness. And so that point of awareness typically is, there's this squirrel cage of thoughts that go around and around and around. And should I do this? Should I do that? He says this, and I'll do that, and so on and so forth. And this meditation technique is a simple way of kind of bringing your attention sort of out of that squirrel cage of those thoughts that are going around and around. And God is in the present moment. And that's the only place our Creator is in the present moment. Not in the past, not in the future, in the present moment. And so in the present moment, that's where objectivity is. And then you can begin to see if you can begin to practice that and learn how to do that, and it's not an instant process. It's not going to instantly, and it's not going to save you. Don't think that learning to become objective is going to save you. What you have to learn how to become objective, and then at that point you can it's kind of hard to put into words. At that point you have the opportunity to, you can either move in one direction or the other, but we're all going in the wrong direction to start with. and we're all who sin are slaves. We're kind of going in the wrong direction, and so that brings you to the point where you can be saved, but you have to become objective. So, and it's kind of a mysterious thing, and I can't really. Words will only go so far before the words just sort of fall apart, and they sort of fall on deaf ears anyway, most of the time, or people think I'm talking in circles, and you have knee-jerk reactions to my words. I mean one thing when I say words, someone else takes them in an entirely different way. Well, you have to learn these things for yourself. You have to want to find your Creator yourself. I can't do it for you. It's not possible. You have to want it, and but if, I'm just basically telling you that what I have found has really worked for me, and I really believe that if you're sincere and you're a searching person, that if you will give this meditation a try, that and you have to really, and if you find that it helps you, and I do believe, I can't promise it's going to help everybody, but I do believe it'll help most people. If you find that it helps you, then it's up to you to continue it. It's not you do it once and then all of a sudden you're better and everything's fine again. And don't do it just you're not really doing it just so you're better. You're doing it because you're really looking for the real answers, and it may be necessary for you to go through the gutter. And you may be in the gutter for years before you really begin to look. So, but that's there. Give it a try. It's on my website, truckertompodcast.com. And you may find that that it can really help you, because it really has helped me over the years. So anyway, this file is getting bigger and bigger, so I better be cutting it off. So from Eagleville, Missouri, I'll catch you later.